I have your attention, please? The show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back, of course, to the Crypto Night Show. Your host, Superman in the house. A very, very happy Easter to everybody in the Northern Hemisphere. It will be Resurrection Day, of course, Jesus rising from the grave, and the greatest event in human history. So God bless all of you out there, and what a wonderful day it is to celebrate. Also, funnily enough, historically, it is of the date that actually Jesus was resurrected back in the first century in the year 33 AD. So pretty remarkable, I guess, alignment there. We got Mikey in the house. Hey, good to see you, Mikey. Hey, gang, good to see you. Welcome to the chat as well. We got Happy Easter to everybody. Happy Easter indeed. The greatest event of all time. And, of course, salvation there for humanity to receive. So pretty exciting stuff. Now, we're going to get into the news today. Obviously, we've got a lot of other stuff going on at the moment. We've got the stock market futures are live, so we're going to have a look at those to see where they're hinting at this week. We've obviously got Trump there and the Iranian conflict. Trump giving I think something close to 48-hour plus timeline for a deal to be done. He is a deal maker. Now, he obviously is dealing with the terroristic regime of the Ayatollahs in Iran. Even if it's the third, fourth level, they're still pretty crazy. But we're going to be talking a little bit about that coming up. So that's a deadline. How will that affect the markets this week? That's why I said in the title of the video, a big week ahead, right? A big week ahead for sure. We're going to get a lot more volatility during this phase, right? So we're also going to be getting into, obviously, Bitcoin. We're going to really deep dive a little bit into Bitcoin insights around where the price might bottom out. Where we might be heading next. We're obviously going to get into Ethereum as well. We've got lots of cool charts to look at. You guys will really love it, I think. And then we're going to get into Pulsechain and look at some of the top performance right now. You can see some of the tickers in the headline that are performing pretty well right now. We're going to talk a little bit about those. PRVX, Hex. We're going to talk about TruFarm, Emit, some of our top farms on Pulsechain. And then, of course, we're going to get into Liberty Swap. They have got some big products rolling out. They're holding them back a little bit here. We're looking forward to those launching as well. That team is the Kraken of Pulsechain right now. So, yeah, some top-tier projects starting to do some stuff. Isn't that exciting, though? We might be at the beer. We might be at the bottom of Pulsechain, but we've actually got some really quality projects starting to shine. And this is what I've wanted since last year, particularly. It was a particular frustration of mine was to get, quality projects on Pulsechain that people were investing in. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of light at the end of the tunnel for that. So kind of cool. We've got Sean in the house there. Happy Easter all. A big shout there, Sean. Happy Easter to you. And we've got DJ and Hexkin as well. 5555. Yeah, max Hex stakes. Yeah, we're going to talk about that too. Now, are we at the bottom? Are we pretty close? Is it this week? Is it next week? Are we pretty close? It feels like it. It looks like it. We're going to talk about that as well. We might actually look at the Pulsechain chart if we have time as well. Now, guess what we've got coming out today, guys? Woohoo! Later today, we got Pulsechain Monster Thread number 48, I think it is. 48 weeks of awesome Pulsechain news. So it's a professional publication from the Crypto Night Show. We got MVS Crypto out there. He's the editor-in-chief and the promotional lead for the Crypto Night Show, doing a great job. And we've got some wonderful, wonderful teams in there as well. It's exciting times, man. Pulsechain is on the move. Professionalism is such a key part of Pulsechain. Obviously, we've got a lot of promotions and marketing happening at the moment on Pulsechain. We've got Richard Hart and the sponsors doing promotional iPads. They're really starting to go everywhere. I don't know if you've seen the Monster Thread, but they're going to UK now. They're going up to upstate New York. It looks like they're going everywhere at the moment. So it's exciting times for that. We've also got on Hex, eHex there, over 6 million accounts now have been airdropped Hex. There are about 400 million wallets on Ethereum, 400 million wallets, and about 6 million have been airdropped some Hex, between, I think, 1 Hex and $1 worth of Hex, something like that. So that is continuing on. How many will be airdropped? Are they going to keep going? So it's going to be fun to see that play out as well. We have seen some initial buying activity. I think Maddie Allen, Crypto Solve, have done a little bit of anecdotal evidence about that, and particularly Crypto Solve is more quantitative, about 5,000 accounts, already getting about 0.5% interaction. So that's pretty exciting. You scale that by the tens of millions, maybe even a few 100 million. I don't know where it's all going to go. That could be really exciting. And I think a lot of people forget Dipcatcher, who made the Maximus hex stakes, the derivatives, during the bear market. Remember that? Hugely successful project, along with Golki, taking lots of hex off the market. And they're doing, was it Netflix? I think it is Netflix or FlexNext. One of those, I think it's one of those broke names. They're going to be launching that too, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting second layer for eHex as well. So there's lots of stuff people are doing out there that we haven't actually talked about too much lately. They're waiting for the timing of the market. There's a lot of these developers have probably got near finished, if not finished, products, and they're just waiting for the market to turn, just waiting for a good time to launch. So exciting stuff happening there. All right, without further ado, let's get into the commentary. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't hit the follow button on X, smash the follow button. And of course, if you want to join up to Strategy Club, links in the video description and pinned to the top of X, and you can join our Strategy Club just over $1 a day. And our Discord is $12.50 a month. So pretty good value there. And we've got the only crypto helpline that I'm aware of out there. So get in there as well. All right, so let's jump into the news here. Obviously, Wall Street futures dip a little bit after Trump gives Iran Tuesday deadline to open the Strait of Hormuz. Now, we talked about this last week, how difficult the strait is because there's all these mountains running along that coastline, and it's only about 21 miles wide and only about 2 miles wide for the actual shipping, given how deep the water is there. So it's a pretty tricky place to secure. Now you can secure it with the ships going past it. You can basically usher ships in, and maybe they're going to set up some sort of insurance program there where they ship by ship they cover you through. We'll see. We obviously got some allies of Iran like China and that, who are actually major users of the Strait of Hormuz. They pretty much getting free rides there, and also probably supplying intelligence and perhaps even other weapons to Iran. So there's all sorts of things that could play out. Now, obviously, Trump putting maximum pressure is about to go next level. And of course, Trump can go next level, even with conventional weapons. And they could actually, Trump will buy weapons, which they have not used. I don't think they're going to go there because it's normally be something you expect some sort of war type activity, which none of us expecting that or wanting that, of course. So we're going to see how this drops at the moment. They're obviously negotiating with some parts of the Iranian regime, maybe, perhaps the more moderates, if there's such a thing. And also we've got a lot of resistance movements in Iran also probably starting to get more active as the regime gets weaker and weaker, and they are getting weaker. They're getting weaker by the day. That would be the case. So let's get into a little bit of this. So we've got the futures at the moment. US 500 is down 0.1%, so not too bad at the moment. But the US 30 is down 0.2%, and that's only pretty modest by my count. So obviously we're going to keep a lookout. We've got about 13 hours, I think it is, until the market's open. So yeah, that's just that would keep a watch out during the day, but that's not too bad at the moment. Remember last week we had a nice little recovery. If you remember last week on the Dow Jones, we had a nice little recovery there on the weekly chart there, and also the NASDAQ there as well. Had a nice little recovery there at the end of the week, but had pretty bad couple of weeks, of at least 3 weeks, was it, something like that. So nice little recovery there. US dollar is sitting at 100. Remember when Trump came in, it was 108. So it's 100 right now. Before Iranian war, I think it was sitting around 97, 98, somewhere in that ballpark, maybe 96 even. And then we've got the S&P volatility index has come down quite a bit. Remember, it was up at over 30. And of course, we look at that over the last, let's say, do the last month. It was, touched on 30 1, 2, 3 times. Back down at 24, just under 24, 23.87. So that's pretty key one there. Risk on, right? Risk on there. So we're really risk on back again, right? And a lot of the tech companies are super cheap relative to their PE. I think they're up at like 24, 25 PE ratio, so price to earnings. And I think they got down to like 18, a lot of the top tech stocks. So that's, repricing, basically going back in time and picking up those before they had, a lot of big rally on them. So exciting there. The other big thing that we've got coming up is SpaceX IPO, right? and we've got a lot of institutional interest in that. Apparently, some of them, the banks, if they want to get involved, have to sign up to Grok. I don't know. But anyway, so they got all that playing at the moment. Now, SpaceX is going to be mega huge. Some of the other big IPOs people are expecting in the future, but not near as good as SpaceX. SpaceX is going to have the whole supply chain. That's very different from, say, OpenAI, which is also going to probably have a pretty big IPO. And so, but there's nothing going to be like SpaceX, because they're going to be sending up, satellites and things like that, doing Bitcoin mining in space, doing AI in space. I mean, there's all this stuff, guys. It is crazy. We're in takeoff phase there for Elon Musk. He's easily, when it's all said and done, given the technological age we're in right now, we're going through the fourth industrial age, which is just the beginning of the intelligence age, right? So pretty exciting there. And he's going to be the entrepreneur of that phase. Obviously, and due to that, the greatest tech entrepreneur of all time, right? So that's pretty easy. Satellites, automated cars, you name it, he's doing it. Now he's got humanoid robots coming as well. Now I could talk about humanoid robots, but it's actually going to be pretty scary in the future. I don't think people fully realize. Maybe Elon Musk talking about having one humanoid per one human. What's that? About 8 billion robots running around the place, mate. And they just get certain programming in them. They can become a real problem. So I know a lot of people are excited, like, oh, it's gonna be cool, man. Gonna have these humanoid robots, but actually, I think there's more negatives than there is positives. And so it's going to be something in the future there. Maybe Generation Alpha is going to have to worry about that. I don't know, but we'll see. It could be much quicker than that. It could be much quicker. So the more you think about it, the actually scarier it becomes. And it's kind of cool at first, like, oh, cool, man. That's cool humanoid robot. And it's doing cool things, but quickly becomes pretty scary stuff. Look, Elon's looking to try and mass produce Optimus 3 next year. I think he was going to try this year, but I think he's been delayed. We may get I know they're starting to do tooling and everything else, I think, in the California factory, but I think it's going to be pretty scary stuff. And no doubt we'll also have Optimus 3 humanoids landing on Mars if Elon can get the Mars ships off next year sometime. So remember, there's only certain windows, and I think he's going to miss this year's window where he was going to have to go, I think, October, November to get to Mars in the first quarter of 27. So we'll keep a lookout for that. That's all due. And of course, we've seen, I think we've got another Starship flight in a few weeks' time with the new generation, right? New generation Starship. So lots of cool stuff happening, guys, in the space, and SpaceX is going to be really exciting. And you're obviously going to get a lot of stuff around the actual infrastructure side of that as well. So we're bring it on. Chip making as well, right? Chip making, all that stuff. You've seen all that stuff that he's doing, right? All right, so that's coming up in the future. So that's actually could lift the whole market. Some of these IPOs can lift the whole market as well. So that may be a counter move to the Iranian conflict. But the other thing that we've got at the moment, because oil prices are so high, so let's go to oil prices. We've got West Texas at the moment, $111.88. It's up 30%. We've got Brent oil at $110, up 1.5%. Now, obviously, US is a net exporter, so they're doing really well with high oil prices. Oil prices typically reflect world prices, but there are regional differences in prices, right? Different prices at different places. Obviously, refineries all around the world, etc. And they will reflect a lot of the fundamentals going on, particularly of the Strait of Hormuz will affect a lot of countries outside of the US. And now US is actually selling oil and gas, I believe, to Australia and other places like that. So pretty exciting for the US. US is a winner. And this is also having higher prices, which means, as you guys know, one of Trump's big policies was drill, baby, drill. Drill, baby, drill. And we saw that back in Obama. Remember back in Obama, like between, I think, 2011, 2014, we had oil prices around $100 or so. And we saw the boom in oil there, production in the US. And then, of course, under Trump, 45, we saw exporting of oil for the first time. And it's been boom time for the US. So now these, even for a short period, having elevated oil prices is a boom for the oil and gas industry in the United States. And of course, Trump's opened that up big time last year into this year, and 100% capital expensing, etc. And these guys, and so this is actually a big win for the United States. Once we finish this conflict and oil prices go down dramatically, then consumer gets the benefit, right? And then of course that offsets any increase in in inflation, and people can really have that low cost again. You want a low cost energy infrastructure over time. Having small blips like this is fine, but you want to keep the cost of energy down, and therefore your economy will boom. But definitely, this is a win for the oil and gas industry, and giving them a windfall. They can then use that money to invest in more stuff, right? So it's going to play. So we've got gold at the moment is down $30 at 4,650, and silver at $72.20 is down 70 cents there. So they're down a little bit there. We have been seeing rotation to some degree. There are some common players, let's say, between gold and Bitcoin. So Bitcoin there, held up a little bit there. But we're also seeing a change in the debt market, right, from strategy. We'll talk about that in a minute. So anyway, so let's get into it. We got investor sentiment weakened again after Trump posted on Truth Social that Tuesday will be power plant day and bridge day. And now Trump really doesn't want to do that. And so this is, we'll see whether this is a bluff. Now Trump's doing a lot of strategies that outdo the market, right? So the market, always thinking about the way liberals and progressives used to run policy, which is really stupid. But Trump is a guy that likes to do the unexpected, make people think certain things and keep it confused. And that's the Trump play, right? So that is kind of where we are there. And if you guys have read the book from Trump called Art of the Deal, you'll get an idea. And he's doing it constant. He does Art of the Deal constantly, and he keeps people confused. And that's exactly the way he used to run his property deals. And so far, it's been extremely good. Now, this is more complicated, of course. Iran is a big country. It's probably twice as big as Iraq and Afghanistan, at least with 90 million people. But the difference here, even though it's kind of a conflict on that scale, Iraq and Afghanistan, is actually the difference is that 80 to 90% of the people don't want the regime. So the regime, the IRGC, is fighting a battle on two fronts, and over time they could find themselves slowly breaking down. Now the question is, how many guns will get supplied to the resistance movements? Obviously, that is a big question, and we already know that they've already been doing some, anti-IRGC activities. The last time that the IRGC tried to contain all the protests, maybe somewhere between 40 to 45,000 people were killed by the regime. The regime is obviously very murderous, and in the West, to have such a regime like that, imagine your government going to do that on the street, would be pretty hardcore, right? So. But I do think over time they're going to break down. It's going to break down, and there's a window of opportunity for that to happen. So that window is in where we are now. I think just starting where we are now. So we'll keep a lookout for that over the next sort of 8 weeks, I guess, is probably a good period. So Trump also says open, I'm going to turn this into PGC language, of course, open the fracking straight, says Trump. You crazy bastards, he says, or you'll be living in hell. Just watch. And then he goes, praise be to Allah, which is interesting news there. Allah just means God, but it is the Muslim word, so that's what they use. Like Christians, we don't use that word, obviously, because otherwise people think everyone's a Muslim, right? We got President Donald J. Trump. He added intensifying fears of a wider conflict. So that's what Trump's got there. Trump said Iran faces a deadline of 8 p.m. Eastern time on Tuesday to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Now, Trump's also got a meeting, I think, today or later today, or at least Monday, to actually with the military, and so we might get an update from him there at I think that's at the White House there. So that's coming up too. So yeah, there we go. That's kind of where we are right now. Now, some of the positives that we had last week was how good the economy in the US is, and we were expecting all the investment from last year, 18 to 20 trillion, to start really paying dividends, and we're starting to see that in the jobs report. So last week we had the non-farm payrolls increase by 178,000 jobs, a really great number. They were only expecting like 60,000 jobs, and they got basically 3 times as much. So it was exciting there. And while the unemployment rate edged down to 4.3% as well. So US looking much better there. And strong rebound employment suggests US economy is in a decent position to weather economic headwinds from the Middle East conflict. So here's the thing. I think the US is set up very well for this conflict. It's the rest of the world that has trouble. And what do we see with the NATO allies? And of course, the NATO allies have a lot of the globalist Marxists in them, right? The guys that want a one world government and doing managed decline and oppressing their people and doing everything else they can do, right? Attacking Christianity, etc., etc. The list goes on. They are all trying to undermine Trump, right? So they're not getting involved in the Iran conflict, even though some of them actually get their oil from the Strait of Hormuz, etc. So that you got the France, you got the UK, you got Australia, and all those trying to resist, and they all coordinate, right? They all collude and coordinate to try and undermine Trump. But Trump is working a multi-front there, and we're going to see where it all lays. But typically, Trump ends up winning every time. So they can say what they want, but it's going to be fun to see this play out. All right, so that is where we are right now with the markets. Let's jump into crypto. How we doing for time? We're about 20 minutes into the hour. Have we got Tam Tam in the house? What's up, family? Great to see you, Tam Tam. Welcome to the chat there. If you guys haven't seen Tam Tam does X Spaces out on X, and great onboarding for new people into Pulsechain and X. So big shout out there, Tam Tam. And Tam Tam is working hard and buying the dip, which I think is kind of cool. I think there was a story about you in the monster thread last week, so that was pretty exciting. All right, what else there? We got the total market cap. Let's have a look at let's refresh crypto. So actually, the futures are only down a little bit. We saw that on the stock market. So we'll see how that changes. We've got about 13 hours to go for the market opens for Monday. And let's have a look at the results here for crypto. So we're at 2.438 trillion, up 2%. Remember, this is a very small market cap. Just want to keep that perspective because, gold, Mag 7, non-Mag 7 stock markets are all around about 40 trillion. So we've got a long way to go. To get up to there. And we're going to show you how that's going to occur as well. We're going to talk a bit about that. So Bitcoin at the moment is up 2.6% at $68,800. So really nice little jump there as well on Easter Sunday US, which is Monday down under now. We're in Monday. It's currently about 11:30 here in the morning. We got Ethereum here at the moment is up 2.9% at $2,116, looking real nice. We got BNB at the moment up 1.5%, $601. XRP up 1.4% at $1.33. Number 7 is Solana up 1.6% at just under $82. Tron at number 8 is up 0.6%, just under 32 cents. Finally, our top 10 Dogecoin there up 0.8% at 9.2 cents. So looking pretty good. Now, as you guys know, some of the general bullish things that we've got coming up ahead that are rolling out as we speak is that Bitcoin is got Michael Saylor's strategy, basically vampire attacking the whole traditional credit markets from TradeFi, from traditional markets and the money market, bond market, credit market. We're going to talk about that. Ethereum has all the big themes. It has tokenization, stable coins, AI payments, creative payments, all coming onto Ethereum. And all the institutions are starting positioning themselves either directly or indirectly through organizations like Bitmine Immersion, right, with Tom Lee. So all these are big things happening, and it's happening at a really good pace, and we're expecting big numbers in the future. BNB, of course, out there, very centralized chain, up 1.5%. Now, the other big one is Solana. Solana will probably, along with XRP, get a lot of support around payment rails. That's also a big deal, right? And we're expecting, obviously, that on Ethereum with AI agents, etc. But we've got XRP and Solana, obviously doing memes on Solana, but also doing payment rails and things like that. But of course, Solana has issues with uptime, and that's a big deal for corporate institutions. They cannot risk that. So I think that's going to be an issue there, and maybe they'll only have risk-taking players do that sort of stuff. But certainly XRP with Ripple there, looking to payment rails. And then we've got a Dogecoin down here, likely to benefit big time, I would argue, from X Money, the wallet from Elon Musk. And we know there's going to be a battle probably between a couple of big financial places for the Generation Z, Generation X, Generation Z, Generation Alpha, those children generations, and millennials. The X Money wallet will probably be one of the key players there, given the fact that there's about 1 billion people interacting with X every month. The other one, of course, we talk about is Tom Lee's also playing in that game with Mr. Beast. And Mr. Beast Industries will also be a key player, and perhaps arguably the best player there in that market. So there's going to be a bit of a battle between a couple of different players for that financial wallet sort of access there. So keep a lookout for that. It's going to be pretty fun. All right, so that is the top 10. Best performer over the last week has been Ethereum, up 2.8%. Very interesting that, right? Very interesting that. And we're going to talk about, we've got a lot of cool stuff happening with ETFs, particularly with the digital asset treasuries, particularly the top 1 or 2 in Bitcoin and Ethereum. And over the last week, we've got, Bitcoin up 3.9% over the last week. Pretty counterintuitive. And Ethereum there up 6% as well, even though we've got the Iranian conflict on right now. Now, best performer in the top 100, we got Allegrand at the moment, or Algo, up 46% for the week. We got Mincore at number 2, up 16.6%. Render up 15.6%. Jupiter up 15.4%. And Zcash, good old Zcash there, almost 50% up today. Those are the top 5 in the last week. Now, look at that. We got the Iranian conflict on. We got Trump giving a deadline, and here we are. We're actually up in the last week on the old crypto. So things aren't so bad. Things aren't so bad there. Yeah, bring on the big moves, eh? Bring on the big bull market. We still haven't had the big bull market, have we? The big banana curve, as Raul Paul would say. Let's look at the top 1,000. We've got Playouts up there, up 38%. Paycoin up 43%, and Siren, which has been in there a lot lately, up 37%. Those are trending top 1,000. Trending overall is Siren, Bitcoin, and Pudgy Penguins as well. And of course, Tom Lee's favorite there. So that is the market overview. Let's get into the majors here. I'm going to keep a pace of time here, 26 minutes on the hour. And we've got Bitcoin. Let's just do a quick coverage of this. We've got the 50-day moving average at $70,385. We got the 200 moving average at $84,100. So there's about $14,000 separating those two moving averages. And we are currently sitting at 68,803 on the daily candle. We've had a high today of 69,561. So looking really quite peppy here as we are moving and still in this range, this trading range. We did drop down on the 6th of February to 60,000, testing the bottom of the power curve. We're going to talk about that, but we're actually heading towards the top of the range of this channel here right now. And the channel's been at about just under 72K, and obviously that bottom there was 60, but probably, essentially we've been bouncing off 65,300 to 72, so that kind of range. We're kind of top end of that right now. It'd be nice to get back over that 50-day moving average, 70,384. But of course, we've got Trump's ultimatum coming up on Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern. So we're going to keep a lookout. This week will be a big week. And let's see if we get some counter moves as well, counterintuitive moves. Going to be interesting there. Now, obviously, when the people feel a bit threatened there, they typically go into, as Tom Lee would say, into growth stocks like the Mag 7, go into software, and go into crypto, which is typically software anyway. So we'll see how that all plays out in the week ahead. Now, some of the things funding Bitcoin, and this is a mega thing. This is the iPhone moment of Bitcoin, is Stretch, right? Stretch product from Michael Saylor. And this is incredible. And we're just watching the early phases of this, right? Product launch, I think something like August last year, but they've really started ramping it up because they can ramp up the yield that they can offer the market and vampire the bond market, which is worth hundreds of trillions of dollars. So even getting a fraction of that to begin with and just slowly creeping up is huge money funding in to fund the old Bitcoin. And of course, remember, when you've got a lot of inflation going around with all the exchange rates, all the money supplies, right? We're seeing all that happen. Well, then a fixed asset like Bitcoin is pure gold, right? Better than gold. Gold's inflationary. People finding more gold all the time. All right, so this is a no-brainer. Bitcoin is set to be the store of value in the future. May have been tested and failed a few times in the short term, but people are going to realize actually Bitcoin is fixed and everything else is inflating. Even if it's inflating a little bit relative to a lot like currencies, it's the game changer. So the store of value there still playing out. And how is it being pumped? Well, Michael Saylor is targeting the private credit markets, money market, bond market rates, typically between 2 and 4%. Private credit, maybe 7.5% to 8.5%, but very illiquid markets, really bad terms as well. So anyone that's offering 11.5%, or even just beating those markets with a store of value underpinned and over collateralized many times, like Bitcoin, is a game changer. So we're watching that play out. There's a number of products in the US, of course. These 4 products that Michael Saylor offers, but Stretch is really the kingpin right now. We might see SATA do pretty well also. These are kind of offset 2 weeks from each other, give you a nice passive income, high income. Imagine being in retirement and earning, anything like 11.5% rather than a piffy 1-2% in the bank, or getting a property ETF or something like that, and earning maybe 4 or 5%, and then having the property market go under, right? For a period of time. It would suck a lot, right? So this is really game-changing stuff. And what do we see in last week's, which it just started printing, right? So ATM at the market, we saw it already accumulate 2,000 Bitcoin. In other words, it's not having to issue MSTR common stock and potentially dilute because it's actually able to raise through the private sector market, trade off a bit of its future yield that one would expect in Bitcoin growth, and then buy Bitcoin with it and push that into the common stock. So beautiful stuff there. 2,000 Bitcoin bought so far. What's it going to be in the week ahead, right? So the week ahead is going to start ramping up again. We obviously got volatility in play that has impacted the strike price of Stretch, which is $100. But ATM is likely. Look at that. It's active at the moment. So we got this last week till Friday. What are we going to get this week? And, of course, goes ex-dividend there, I believe, on the 15th, 14th, 15th. So we've still got quite a few days ahead of us, at least a good week or so. And so we're going to watch this buy more Bitcoin and hold up the Bitcoin price. And remember, last time we got a huge print. I don't think we'll get a print quite that size this time. Maybe we'll get some more MSTR issuance as well. So we have got the common stock issuance, can raise capital and buy Bitcoin. And we've got the preferred equity, which is targeting the debt markets, also a fundraising and buying Bitcoin and adding to the common stock. Now, this is not dilutive, right? Whereas the other one is dilutive. It's dilutive for the yield, future yield, but pretty modest relative to diluting the underlying MSTR stock. So pretty important there. And of course, that depends on the MNAV, remember, whether it's at a discount or a premium. So those are the decisions that Michael Saylor is making. But so far, impressive stuff. Now, obviously, this means that Michael Saylor is going to head up towards that million Bitcoin. And we could see some huge prices for Bitcoin as he's buying up the market and vampiring the credit market. It's going to be exciting, guys. And we're in this sort of bearish market with the conflict of Iran. Imagine we would really start humming, just not even bull market stuff, just start humming normal market price. Oh, MG, this thing could be absolutely driving massive amount of money into the Bitcoin, and hundreds of billions, if not into the trillion markets, are definitely plausible in the future. So, and what that impact has on Bitcoin, ginormous. So keep a lookout for that. Very exciting times. The iPhone moment, as they say. All right, so let's get into the power laws and see where we are right now. We've got a couple of power curves here. And of course, this is pretty exciting. If you want to get into a deep dive into the power curve, probably the best model out there for Bitcoin, most consistently a fitting model. You can go see a mathematician, economist, Krugman on this one, Kruger, I should say, on this one, if you want to find out a lot more details. But here we are. We've got a couple of charts here on bitcoinpower.law, and we can see that we've got the power law here. We've got the power law of fair price here in blue, and then we've got the, in purple here, we've got the power law support, negative 60%, right? So, and then we've got the green is the active Bitcoin price. You can see at the moment that we are above the bottom there on the floor. The floor at the moment is the support is at 71,090, but we have got the power law. So let me just move forward here into where are we up to at the moment? 14th. So 14th here, the power law floor here is 52,900. So that is what I've been talking about, the 53K mark. We've hit 60, remember, about a month ago, that we could, if we're going to go to another level, this could be where we do go for a brief time. And then I think if we did do that for some reason, we'd need a catalyst for that, either market maker or some event, then that would be short-lived. I think that would be very short-lived, and we'd be bouncing back pretty quickly from that. So, but that is possible. Otherwise, 60K is kind of where we've been sitting. Now, the fair price at the moment is 132,000. So that's the blue line above. So that is 132,000 there. So that's very important to think about that. So 32,000 there is the fair price where it should be. But of course, we've got Iranian conflict, other things on there like that at the moment. And of course, we had a lot of OG Bitcoin holders sell through fourth quarter into the first quarter. That does largely look like it's finished. So that should give us a lot of breathing room to move forward. And we've redistributed a lot of Bitcoin through that, from the OGs to new people, particularly institutions and ETFs and digital asset treasuries, etc. And we've got Michael Saylor there buying it up along with ETFs as well, right? So we've got more ETFs, Morgan Stanley, etc. coming in and adding to the market, right? So very, very exciting to see where we're heading from here, right? All right. So that's a power law there. Let's have a look at another version of this here as well. Here we're on charts.bitbo. And we can see at the moment we've got the bottom line there at 58,000 in red. Just make sure I get the right one here. About 56,000 on the red line there. That's the support line. So it's a little higher than the 53,000 on the other chart. We've got the midline here, which is the linear regression fit, sitting at 159,000. So So we're below that right now. And one would argue that we'd tend to go back to that, right? And then we've got the top line, the resistance line at $564,000 Bitcoin. Do you like that? Well, that's something that's in our future for sure as we move along this line. So pretty excited about that one. Let's go to our third version of the Power Law chart here. So we've got Bitcoin Power Law here, and we've also got the Power Law and the Power Law floor model, and we've got the BTC price there. So Power Law is in green, and the Power Law there in blue. And we can see, we're above that right now. So if we take that ticker, you can see pretty similar numbers, 53K for the floor model. And we've got the Power Law there sitting at 126,000, which is interesting, where we had the all-time high so far. And the Bitcoin price now at 68. So pretty good zone to buy right now, right? So I wouldn't say it's super cheap. I'd call it cheap price now for Bitcoin, where we are currently at the moment. But if we did get below 60 to 53, that would what I'd call a super cheap price. And some people are waiting for that, right? They got limit orders, they're waiting for that. And some really crazy people are thinking 30, 40K, which I just don't think's in the plan at all. Power Law has done pretty well fitting in this, so we'll see where that goes here. And we are doing pretty well during this Iranian conflict, so I think we're looking good. And we got that Bitcoin, we got that stretch product buying up Bitcoin as well, and more ETFs coming from big banks like Morgan Stanley. So you got to feel pretty good there. All right, let's jump over into Ethereum. Ethereum at the moment, we've got the price here. Oh, we got Craig in the house. So good to see you, Craig. Welcome to the chat there. Morning all. Now, if you guys are just coming into the show, we're building up a real nice audience here now. Don't forget to smash the subscribe button on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels, the Kryptonite Show, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. So a big welcome to all the new members. And if you guys are on X, of course, don't forget to smash the follow button there as well. And of course, we are the largest channel, largest Pulsechain influencer channel, doing daily shows with a few days off here and there. So that's pretty much it. We've got Diamond Hands in the house there. If you have time today, can you go over Sparta? Yeah, I'll have a look at Sparta as well. I'm pretty sure that might be up there somewhere with X moving up today. So we'll have a look at that. Let me know if there's anything specific that you want me to focus on as well. All right, so this is kind of where we are at the moment. We had Ethereum is currently looking, I think, slightly better than a Bitcoin, right? We obviously see it performing better. It's typically a leverage play when it's going well. But I actually kind of feel like Ethereum really, when Bitcoin had 126K last year, Ethereum was still struggling, went to 49. But I really feel like Ethereum, when it goes, it's going to really be amazing, guys. I think Ethereum's going to be truly amazing. And we're going to look at some of the reasons for that. I'm almost grinning from ear to ear because I think it's going to be pretty crazy, guys. And I think that Pulsechain should benefit really well from that, and excited for that. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why I think that too coming up. Remember, we got the price here at $2,121, and they've had a high today of $21.34, looking pretty strong if you ask me. We had the low here of the 6th of February, and that was 1742. Tom DeMark's number was about 1790, I think it was, from Tom Lee. Tom DeMark was one of the famous timing gurus in the world. And so that's kind of where we are. So we're actually up from there 22% over the last 59 days. So 2 months there. I said a month for Bitcoin, a month 2 months ago, of course, the low. But here is where we are right now. So we're actually looking pretty good. We're not far away too from the the 50 moving average, which is at 21.45. So we're really in only about $20 from that. I mean, it's crazy. Looking pretty good there at the top of the range of this range here. So let me draw a little picture because we all like drawing pictures, don't we? I don't know if we do. Let's jump into that. I've got other pictures there. I realize I turned my pictures off, but that's kind of where we are there. Let me turn this off. I'm not sure what I had that on there for, but that is that's that low on the daily, and that's kind of we've been stuck in this channel. Attempt to get over there. Of course, we got the Iranian conflict, which is a serious conflict. There's no doubt, and there's lots of permutations of scenarios, and the market's trying to say what are all the scenarios going on here. Which one's going to most likely happen? How bad is that scenario? That actualizes. So yeah. Oh, look at that. We just went up. We almost hit the 50-day there. We're just below it right now, just live there. Just went up another $20. There we go. And we're just touching that 50, almost touching that 50 there. We're about $4 away. So that's pretty exciting on the old Ethereum. Now we've got the Ethereum 200 moving average at 2,700 right now. So it's 27 up here. That's kind of where we are. So not bad. All right. So that is the chart. Now we've got structural changes. We've also got Ethereum ETFs, right? So we've got BlackRock's new ETHB, which is going to be not just investing and buying Ethereum, but actually investing and staking, right? And they've already done huge already, a couple $100 million, already staked tens of thousands of ETH already this month, the first month of operation. So that's another big buying source there. BlackRock, remember, the biggest asset manager in the world. This is a big deal, and that opens up all their clients, all their guys get on the phone, ring up, etc. So this is a big deal here. And we're getting bank after bank. So think of bank after bank, all have their own client lists, right, of super wealthy individuals, super wealthy companies, institutions, government agencies, NGOs, etc. And they get on the phone and they start, hey, get 1% of your portfolio in here, get 2%. What's your risk thing? You got, how many people you got on your board that are happy? What's the CEO? You got all these different levels going on, and we're still at that maturity phase where we've got some passionate people in these companies, but then we've got these conservative people, and it takes time for them to change their constitutions, waiting for regulation, etc. There's lots of factors that go into that, and that's why this is a multi-year adoption curve, right? So that's the phasing in there. But the more bullish regulations and stuff we get, that just opens the floodgates and takes away a lot of those constraints, and then it's just more money coming in. 1, 2, 5% of portfolios start flooding into the crypto markets. And now, of course, because Michael Saylor's targeting the credit markets, these people on the equity side of the markets start saying, whoa, these guys, this is already going up massively. We want to get a bit of our equity risk in here now. We can see what's going on with the old Bitcoin moving up. And of course, that's funneling all money in. Now, remember, Michael Saylor and Tom Lee essentially funding the crypto market boom. And you can say thanks very much to them because it's exciting. And of course, it's going to be very difficult in the employment markets out there in the world, given that AI and robots are coming. So this is the best place to make your money. And of course, inflation is a terrible thing. Erodes your value as well. Even if you've got a job, your income's getting eroded. We've got a lot of Marxist globalists running a lot of the West, New Zealand, Australia, Canada, Europe. And these guys are taxing to the hilt. They take your money because they think they're smarter than you and they think they're better than you. And yet they're some of the dumbest people on the planet. But that's, power is an easy thing. A lot of dumb people hold power. And of course, that's something they can easily understand, right? So we've got all that stuff going on right now. Let's go in here. We got $2,134. Looking pretty good is the old Ethereum. We're going to have a volatile week though. So there's potentially a chance we have that. But maybe like I say, with that volatility, maybe a lot of money goes into growth stocks because they're a little bit nervous about the future, and that would benefit the Mag 7 and benefit software in particular, blockchain. So we might see that theme play out as Tom Lee has talked about. So there we are right now, and we've got these underlying, stretch products and are targeting the debt market, and of course Tom Lee here targeting buying up a lot of the ETH as well. Very exciting to see that, and that's actually helping give us structural support to this market. And it's actually bigger than people can imagine right now, along with the big banks coming in, the big leader banks like Morgan Stanley, BlackRock, etc. All right, so let's jump into the what are some of the bullish stuff that's happening. Well, we talked about Tom Lee last week. He's targeting just over 6 million Ethereum, which is 5% of the ETH supply. That will give him a network power play there, a sovereign put, as they might say. And we've got the last report from last week. That's last Monday. Was 4.7 million ETH that they bought so far, which is fantastic. And he has already staked with 3.14 million, 3.92% of supply. So he's getting there. It's just over 1% of the supply to go. Now, we know that this last week so far, it seems that he has bought another 71,000 ETH. Remember last week he bought 75. He's been ramping it up from 45, 55, 65, 75 each week. So some pretty serious jumps there. And it looks like he's bought at least 71,000 in the last week. So we'll see what the update is this week. He may have finished there at 71. Maybe he's pretty happy with that. And of course, they had still about $950 million worth of cash on hand. So pretty balancing that out. Now, the MNAV, of course, for Bitmine is, I think, sitting, I don't know, somewhere between 0.87 and 9.3 or somewhere in there. And looked at the latest one, but somewhere in there, which means that they're at a discount, right? So if they sell shares to raise capital here, they dilute the existing holders, right? That's kind of the play. If you got a positive MNAV, in other words, above 1-to-1, in other words, the price of the share equals the value of the underlying assets that you hold, particularly in Ethereum, then you can raise capital and of course take that extra money and then go buy ETH, and you're actually adding accretive value to the underlying underlying digital asset treasury, which is Bitmine Emission, right? But this is the ETH game. But as we know, Tom Lee is playing a big game. He's also matching not only institutional adoption but retail adoption with Beast Industries, also giving a lot of additional layered value by targeting OpenAI, Orbit, and many other things in there as well. So it's pretty exciting stuff with it, as well as WorldCoin and all that sort of stuff. Now there's pros and cons to all that, but you can see he's getting on all the boards. He's got Kathy Woods from Arcs Investment on play, so there's a big play happening in there. Also in the mix there is Kraken Exchange and many other players. So these guys are kind of become a consortium that are building out some sort of monetary system, taking all the mega themes on Ethereum and becoming the king maker as well. So it is pretty awesome, the future of money and, of course, adoption there. So it's exciting stuff on top of all this bullishness around just buying ETH and giving structural support. So it's some pretty cool stuff. So you can see what's happening here. We got Strategy pushing up Bitcoin, and we got Tom Lee there pushing up Ethereum, right? And exciting times ahead. Now, they can do big buys, of course. They might end up buying a couple 100,000 ETH that's in 1 week just to call the bottom is in, right? The bottom is in there. Now, what are the mega themes happening from all this? Well, the mega themes are that we've got ETH going off exchanges. There's a couple of reasons. We've got the ETFs buying. We got the digital asset treasury, particularly Bitmine, buying there. And, of course, SBET's doing their own thing and as the second biggest digital asset treasury with the DeFi products, which is kind of cool. A lot of the other DATs are kind of sitting out there wailing at the moment. So we'll see what happens with all those. Maybe there's some OTC deals done with some of those smaller DATs or digital asset treasuries. But we can see that since the market now I'm going to zoom this in to last year just to show you how quickly things have happened. See that blue line? Let me keep that there. See that blue line? This all the way back in 23. We were all the way up at exchanges. We had a massive amount of ETH on there. Close to 23 million ETH was on exchanges. So that's huge. And we came all the way down in August 24 to 19.4 million. And then we came all the way up to April there to 21.3 million. And then we get to the most interesting time, 1st of July. Remember that? 1st of July at 21 million ETH on the exchanges. So let's shorten this time frame here, and let's go hunt this mark here. We're going to go bam. So this here is the 1st of July here. So we're up at 21 million ETH. That blue line. Now that white line is the Ethereum price, right? So the Ethereum price there still had a rally regardless of the amount of ETH on there. Still had a rally, right? And then down we came. Look at the ETH going down in blue. The blue line down, 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 down. And look at the fall off recently, all the way down to 14.8 million. Isn't that fantastic? So 21 down just under 15. So over 6 million ETH is now net down on exchanges. So ETH is getting rare. What's the things causing that? ETFs. We've got the digital asset treasury. Obviously, Tom Lee and others buying it up. And then we've got, and we're going to have more coming, right? More coming. Like obviously the BlackRock one's just been around for months, just ramping up. A massive money expected there. I think the ETH which was just buying ETH, got up to 15 billion. I think it's around about 7-8 billion now. And ETH B could do some huge numbers. Imagine the amount of money they come in as well. Could be pretty exciting. So remember on the Bitcoin front, we've got Emit. Emit's got about 782,000 Bitcoin, and Strategy itself, MSTR, has got about 762,000. They're about to flip probably, right? Because of the stretch product is buying the Bitcoin, so they're probably going to flip soon. So we've got some, a bit of battle between ETFs, but actually digital asset treasuries, particularly the two kingpin ones, the one that anchoring the chains, probably going to be the ones that flip that all. But of course, in Ethereum, they're going to have, trying to be competing against the size of Bitmine Immersion, which is around 10 billion plus $11 billion. So subject to the price of ETH. So pretty awesome. Remember, these things are all leverage plays. So the MNAV is expected to get a premium in the future, and therefore you're going to outdo buying ETH or Bitcoin directly. At the moment, you can get a discount on both Strategy and ETH. And Bitmine, because the MNAV is less than 1, but in the future it will be no doubt a premium. And some of those premiums might actually take into account, particularly around ETH, the value of all the other things that he's doing around the, taking over the monetary system there with a lot of the, Mr. Beast Industries and et cetera. So a lot of stuff happening here, but massive over 6 million down here. So ETH is actually getting a bit of supply squeeze, right? Bit of supply squeeze here. Now, I talked to you about some of the reasons that it's going. Obviously, we got ETFs, which is going to increase. We got DATs, of course, but we've got staking, right? Staking is a big key, right? So staking is a big reason. And let's have a look at the staking queue. The staking queue has gone up massive. Look at this. Woohoo! This blue line here is the entry, right? The exit is in red. And we got the all-time here. But look at that. So I'm going to zoom it in just on the last year, get rid of all that other stuff there. But look at this. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Now, when's that started rising from? Well, December last year. But let's go back to July, which is when Bitmine Immersion was coming into play, right? And we can see that was around about here at the beginning here. And there, look at that. Just kind of cool. Now, they were just buying, right? Remember, huge numbers, 100,000 ETH, etc. But now, since December, it's really taken off. Look at that. We saw a big move in October, and then we've seen a bit of a pause from Bitmine Immersion. Now we've seen a big rally up here. Look at us. Now we had a peak of almost 4.1 million ETH going into staking, in the staking queue, and virtually nothing coming out of the staking queue. Unbelievable, right? And yeah, we got 4.1 million on the 12th of February. So wow, I mean, it's only just over a month and a half ago. And look, we've still got huge numbers going in. 2.9 million ETH in the queue, right? In the queue. Now the wait times in the queue when you go in the queue are about 50 days. So you've got about 50 days till you put it in the queue before you get staked and start earning the yield. So there's a delay there. And the other big thing we had last week, right, or the week before, was Maven, right? So Bitmine Immersion launching their own multi-chain staking solution for validating, and so that's also in the play, and that's an idea to offer maximize yield and also allow third parties to use their staking protocol as well for validating not just Ethereum, but I think also Solana and Basechain. I think it was the other two. So they're going to get a lot of revenue from that too, no doubt, as well, offering those services. Also, as a market maker in there as part of their payment rails, etc. So a lot of things happening at Space. We're going to get a lot of better picture of that over the next sort of 6 months. So keep a lookout for that since Maven launched. Pretty awesome. All right, so some interesting stuff there at the moment. So we're going to keep watching all that. Now, staking supply. Now let's have a look at that at the moment. We're going to go to the last year. You can see it's only gone up. Look at that. So it's only gone up. Look at that. Woohoo! Now, obviously, we had a bit more supply. We've got EIP 1559 right in place around the base fee, etc. But let's go to the 1 year mark and look at this. Woohoo! We're up at 38.6, and we've got more and more coming into the staking. It's crazy, 2.8 million. So we're heading up and away. So the supply is disappearing off the market, guys. Can you see what's happening? Supply squeeze is coming. And it means that whenever we get any normal market cycle, it's going to be probably multiplied, right? It's going to be lifted. That's why you're getting very excited about where Ethereum could go, because all the supply going off the market just helping support. And this is dramatic, right? The supply going off the market helps support the takeoff. And of course, you got all those adoption themes, tokenization. Everyone's coming, right? All the big institutions start to say, "Oh, I'm coming over. We're going to tokenize. We're going to start off easy." And they do it inside a year, right? They do it inside a year. They start off a small amount. We're going to do like $1 billion here, and then that worked out pretty well. So now we're going to go up to 100 billion. It's like how quickly it happens, and before you know it, they've tokenized everything. So it's really exciting, and we're expecting all sorts of things to be tokenized. It's pretty awesome. I don't know. We've got the RWA data there, but we might look at that again on another live stream. All right, so we're up to 53 minutes on the hour. Just going to keep tabs of my time here. But yeah, pretty exciting stuff there. You guys can see, pretty awesome. APR's coming down naturally, as you would expect. We're down at 2.7 to 2.8% of the APRs. But man, that's amazing. Imagine you got 6 million ETH stake like Tom Lee has a Bitcoin Immersion, and you're earning 2.7%. It's a cash cow. And on the stock market comparisons, that's a valuable company, right? There's a valuable company there. So just cash cow there as well. I don't know what they're going to do with that, whether they're just going to accumulate it or sell some of it and do buybacks of stocks or whatever they're going to do. That's something else to watch in the future as well. But pretty awesome, right? So I hope you guys are feeling bullish about where everything's going from the supply side. And we've covered the demand side, right? So we've got the ETFs, we've got DATs, we've got the whole finance industry sort of merging, going from traditional finance over to the blockchain, and we've got regulation supporting that. That's why everyone's keen on the Clarity Act. Hopefully we'll get that done in May, guys. Hopefully, fingers crossed, and all that sort of stuff happening. So yeah, pretty awesome things happening there. And we've got staking. Now, some of the other things taking stuff off exchanges are whales themselves. So whale accumulation, whales taking stuff off the exchanges, and there's a couple of the key factors there going on right now. All right, so let's jump over into Pulsechain. Boy, I didn't realize I was going to talk for 55 minutes about the markets, but there we go. We got a lot of stuff happening this week. It's going to be pretty interesting. Now let's get into Pulsechain. We're going to do some rapid fire and hopefully focus on some of the top tickers there. We got Hexray Vision in the house there. Hey, buddy, great to see you, Hexray Vision. Hope you're doing well. All right, let's get into it. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe and hit the X button for the follows and get excited. Get excited here. So we've got day 1,000. And I think it's 60, 1,060. Pulsechain, of course, a full system stake copy of Ethereum, launched on the, which was on the 10th of May, 2023. Launched a couple of days later on the 30th of May, 2023. We had the SEC then make a big claim against Pulsechain, PulseX, Hex, and Richard Hart on the 31st of July, 2023. That lasted for about 2 years. Richard Hart got the A team of lawyers and was, as far as I know, the only person to ever defeat the SEC in court. And so on the 7th of July, 2025, once and for all, after about 2 years, they were well and truly defeated. And so that is pretty cool. We've got some case law, I guess, for supporting Pulsechain and PulseX, etc., despite the fact that, we had a change in administration, which was super crypto friendly as well. Now, we've got Pulse at the moment is sitting at 50715. We're hunting the all-time low. We're kind of still in that zone. And we're down 0.5% today. Obviously, the Iran conflict also impacting the chain. We've had PulseX at the moment, 50568. It is super cheap now on PulseX. Obviously, the volumes are down, so I guess that's why you'd price it too. And then we've got the total buy and burn on GoPulse at about 8.81%. I think Pulsechain stats is around about 9.2. Incentive token at the moment, 32 cents, down 2.72%. And then we've got Hex on Pulsechain at 1,300 a penny, so super cheap right now. So incentive token down 2.7, PHEX there down 0.7%, and then we've got EHEX there sitting at 0.0063, the original OG, right? One of the top 5 coins in the last bull market, 2021, is just super cheap, right? So what was it, 52 cents now is 56 cents, I think it was on exchange, one of exchanges anyway. But that's where we are, 0.0063. At the moment, we've had a climb in the ratio of EHEX over PHEX for the last 7 months, and that is got the ratio up to about 50, but just over 50%. So one PHEX will get you, or just under 50%, one PHEX will get you 2.05 EHEX at the moment. But that's been, quite a good play in the old EHEX there. And of course, EHEX is where all this HEX being airdropped to wallets, 6 million plus so far. No doubt that is climbing. So exciting times. 400 million maximum. Maybe a 0.5% interaction. That'd be pretty significant. Could be significant. We'll see. Early days though for that. It's question mark. There's a lot of bot accounts on the exchanges, of course. But that's kind of where we are with the old markets right now. Let's jump over to the gas prices. We're sitting at 800,000 bits, so back to normal. 0.2 of a penny for a PulseX swap. The validators have seen quite a bit of drama over the last couple of weeks. With Validator X and I think to Vouch as well. We're sitting at 50,459, so it looks like we've settled down there a bit. Some of those validators sold and, of course, gave us our all-time low, I think, or at least contributed massively. We've got the bridge there at the moment, 69.7 million, and we're just trying to get back over that 70 million mark at the moment. But we've got tons of stable coins on the chain. Look at that, USDC, 15 million. We've got DAI there at 15 million. Those two in particular, interesting. ETH at 12 million and USD Tether there, it's 4.5 million. And only a fraction of that is in the actual protocol liquidities. So we've got a lot of idle capital there. Whose is it? And what will they do with it? Question mark, right? It's been there for a long time, so you can take your guesses. We've got still got CST there sitting at 15 million. Although I think you can use that anymore. Last time I checked with the old, was it the old bank? What do they call it? The old bank or something like that. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. Let's see. Let's go to the markets. So we've got the kingpins at the moment. So who would have thought? Well, apparently Kairos thought of it really nice and early. Kairos, of course, the developer of Emit Farm. He launched a zero knowledge printer here, and basically you can buy ZKP, stake it, and earn PRVX yield. Now the volumes are modest, but they're about $5,000. They have been higher, but each day that's giving you a bit of yield every day, and so that's been priced up pretty nicely, and almost a 20% gain on the last 24 hours, and it's number one right now. You can see PRVX is also moving as well. Now funny enough, I did a post yesterday. I don't know, I've just been right about PRVX nonstop since I've been covering it. I don't know whether it's just a lot of just good guesses or whatever, maybe the experience coming in. But yeah, yesterday I did a post about the crossroads of PRVX, and the next day it's up. It's decided to go up, make a decision. That's pretty hilarious. Anyway, so we're up 7.5% right now, and let's have a look at the market cap. Market cap still 81.7 mil, and did make a bit of a rally here. Look at that on the 4-hourly there. Now I posted right here. I posted right here, guys, just before that rally. Isn't that funny? It's hilarious, and you can go check out my X post for that. But that's hilarious. Also called this bottom here, and also rollover, right? So basically everything in the chart I called, and here we are back up here right now. Obviously too tempting there after that rally. Someone had to sell into it, which is not surprising. RSI was a good cue to that, right? Look at that. That was a good clue to where that was heading on the 4-hour. 4-hour is the trader's view chart, so it's a good chart to manage. Now, if you're new to crypto and you don't want to be buying the tops, there's a lot of new people coming to crypto. They buy the tops. Even a lot of existing people around for a long time do that all the time. But if you want to really help prevent yourself buying the tops, put the RSI indicator on, right? So the RSI, go up to the functions and just go RSI, and you can add that in, right? Add that in. Just click, bam, relative strength index. Add that in. That's the one indicator. Even if you're not trading, you don't need all the moving averages and all the other things, Fibonacci's, whatever, IQ clouds. You don't need anything else. You just need to have the RSI on, and that will help you from buying tops all the time. And then when it gets sold off, you wonder what the hell happened. I thought I was supposed to make mad gains. Instead, I lost mad gains. Well, it will help reduce that chance of that happening, right? And you can see that when it gets over 70, it's overbought. When it gets over below 30, it's oversold. And of course, you can also see different heights within it as well, just like a normal price chart where it might go as well, where it sort of sits around. But it had a nice little rally there on the 4-hour, and then, of course, it got sold down. So you need to decide, you're going to wait for 70, you're going to wait for slightly above there, and, of course, down it went there, but it was having a nice little rally. Now, I also have a 21 moving average. It's a very cool average to have as well, kind of a trader's average, and that's a 3-week average. And if you're using daily, here we're using the 4-hour chart there, and it gives a nice average. And, of course, that's what I pinned on there yesterday's post, right? It said, oh, well, this is a decision line now. The 20, sort of been humming along here in a nice little range, and it was touching on this 20. It had a chance to move, and it decided to move up, right? Which is probably the bias. It had the bias to move up, and down it's going, right? Why the bias? Well, we've still got coming off the bottom, and we've got the big, sacrifices here still up about 90% at that price where it moved. So more bias to the upside there, especially after it's come down from that massive sell-off, and then started slowing down the sell-off, right? That was kind of the blues clues, and then it started hitting the 21. Had a decision to make. Bias was to the upside. That's where it went, and down it's gone because there's just more profit in there, right? So keep a lookout for that. Obviously, where do you want it to go now? You want it to bounce off that 21 moving average. That's at 40.6200. We're at 64. We're just above it right now. So key line there. Keep watching for that. And that would also probably bring it down if it touched the 21, maybe closer to the 50 on the RSI. So we'll see how that goes. You can see it sort of drifting down still at the moment on the 4-hourly there. The daily, of course, we only recently started printing, and we've got a daily daily 21 moving average now at 40.7800. So you can do moving averages. Probably a 9-day moving average is a good one, and the 34, they're kind of cool crossovers there. But at the moment, we've just got the 21 there. That is printed already. Now, if you have shorter ones, they're going to print longer lines already, because we're obviously in through how many days? 22 days so far. So only 3 weeks still in the baby period. And so we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, will a market maker come in again and do what they did last time? I don't know quite yet. I think we'll probably zap up a little bit. A nice little incremental move would be nice before a market maker decides to blow out this all-time high here. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Will depend on a lot of market stuff there. May have to consolidate for a while as well, see where that goes, but probably drift to the upside is my guess, unless someone decides, screw it, I'm taking my 90% and I'm going over to Ethereum or something. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe they're going to buy Pulsechain up and Hex. I don't know. You never know. All right, so that's kind of play at the moment. And, of course, a lot of people consider this the easiest one to Richard pump, although I think Hex, of course, is another one that's got nice thin liquidity there. They can be pumped as well. But this is kind of the latest thing. It is a first cycle, not a second cycle. So there's lots of pros and cons there that people argue back and forth about. All right, but definitely we saw Richard Hart post when the market maker came in. That was pretty interesting, right? That was pretty interesting. So let's see what he does from here. And I know Bunker Mentals is pretty excited about where this will go in the future. People were looking for that big X's, right? The big X's there. All right, let's jump over to the next one. Let's go back to the market. So we got obviously the PRVX one's doing real well. Gizmo, it's been around for a month, up 9%. Let's jump over to TruFarm, which is in the title of the video today. TruFarm, of course, is a collab there, or at least they got Kairos from the Emit farm to launch. They have been doing a great job. I call TruDeFi, which is the founder of TruFarm. They do the 2x pulse miners. They've had a lot of people getting their 2x pulse miners recently. They've done some really great live streaming yesterday. TruFarm, of course, one of our top farms now on Pulsechain, offering high yields, including single-side staking in EDI. And it's at 74 cents, holding up real nice, up 4.6% today. So TruFarm, they're doing pretty well. We did look at this yesterday, but you can check out the website there if you want to check out TruFarm, offering high yields on Pulsechain. We got Dominance as well from AG WebChef, up 4.6%. UFO there also up 2.8%. And I talked about TruFarm. We've got Emit as well. So Emit Farm is there, also the OG of the high APRs. Now they have virtually all the top tier projects on Emit Farm. They're up 2% today at $1.06, looking really good there from Kairos, and very cool. So the innovative stuff there, single-side staking in EDI, and also high-yield APR farms for Emit pools, Richard Hart core pools, and many other projects. It's pretty exciting down there. Very cool. In fact, I want to do a whole farm video, so I'll probably have that coming up soon. Pulse Puppy at the moment up 1.6%. Zero Trust tied into the PCock trifecta is up 1.3%. They're doing about 10 plus DApps on DeFi projects on Pulsechain. We've got Top Hat there from Crypto Coffee, arguably the largest influencer on Pulsechain. He's got a lot of PCock LP as well. They're sitting in there right now at number 17. Now we've got PCock itself up 1% there, just under 1.3 cents. That's kind of just consolidating, and of course we do see Liberty Swap, putting a fair amount of capital. I'm not sure if it's exactly daily, but pretty regular. Well, certainly daily on the fees, but additional capital coming in quite regularly sometimes as well. And PCock there holding at 1.3 cents. It is the Kraken on Pulsechain from my point of view. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And then we've got Hex at the moment, which is also in the title video. I think it's up at 0.8%. So not a lot of big movers today. We only had arguably only ZKP and PRVX really moving big there at the moment. But Hex at the moment is up just under 1%. But we're pretty excited about that. Like I say, along with PRVX, it's got nice thin liquidity that you can really move some stuff, and it's got some activity happening with eHex at the moment with the old airdrops of Hex to over 6 million accounts. So interesting little strategy there. Pretty cool. All right, so that's kind of cool with Hex. Let's have a quick look. Should we look at one of them? Well, let's look at this XP here. This is PHEX, right? Hex on Pulsechain, and we can see it kind of consolidating here on the daily candles. Bounced off, 12. What is that? 1/1200th of a penny. I think that's right. So 1/1200th of a penny there, coming at 1300. So super cheap for the old Hex. But let's have a look at the pulse ratio. Pulse ratio looking better. Look, we're all the way down at 150, and we're at 183 here, so it's doing a lot better at the moment. So yeah. Now, one thing I want to do is do a live stream with the pulse ratio charts to show you some of the best charts on Pulsechain. When pulse is going down, they've been going up in the ratio, and of course the ones that you definitely want are ones that are up in US dollar prices, because that means they're doing really spectacular. So there we go. 183 right now is the ratio. So actually, it's too bad. Not too bad there. A lot of work to do, but look at the violence in the chart, the violence of affection, as you might say. The night of September 24, look at that. Boom, 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 boom. That's the old Hex versus Pulse. So pretty crazy stuff. Got all the way up to 423 or something on the ratio, 183 right now. And we had a low all the way back here in March 24. That was a long time ago now, and that was at 91. So, we're up from there. Time is your friend. Time is your friend. But keep a look out for this. Could expect some good stuff there, and the liquidity is pretty damn thin as well. So definitely PRVX, Hex there, easy to move, right? Easy to move. Now, the other big thing, of course, is a Cycle 1 coin from 21, one of the top 5 coins. Now, this is PHEX, of course, the copied version, but eHex over on Ethereum there, the original OG. And, of course, that's the one that's getting a lot of the airdrops, the 6 million airdrops. So we'll keep a look out for that. I think we should do a stream on that too. We've got a lot of streams we need to do, but it's kind of cool. So these are some of the juggernauts. So we've got some cool stuff. We've got PRVX, TruFarm, Emit Farm. We've got UFO. I'm liking what I'm seeing up here. Top Hat. Not too many crap coins. Crap coins launching. We've got PCock. PCock, obviously. Hex. Vouch is sitting here. Vouch, obviously, launched a new yield product. So that's kind of cool. We'll see that probably soon. So it's kind of cool. I think they had a little issue with some of the stakers, about 10 or 11 stakers, but it's kind of cool. Now everything else is in the red. So let's scroll down here and look at some of the worst performers today, just because that's, we had this funny coin buy now. I'm not going to go into that much. I haven't really looked at it, so it could be a honeypot or anything. I don't know what it is. Pepe there is down 10%. We talked about that the other day. We've got some other UFO peers, depending on liquidity size, etc. They're down about 7.8%. Solid X down here as well. Sun Mini Mill. Oh boy, Sun Mini Mill has gone down 4.5%. Oh boy, look at that. Saw Sun Mini Mill. That's a real drop. Let's look at the ratio there. Yeah, look at that. The drop the last 3 days. That's pretty significant. 72 to 6,600 there. Still, the chart looks really good pulse-wise, but that's quite a drop over the last couple of days at least. We're expecting them to go to Solana, but they're still here. They haven't using their buy and burn, so they've probably got tens of millions of dollars. We could have that in Pulsechain. That'd be really useful right now. We got Unity. I guess it's too much to put into one chart. I mean, the chart would just go through the roof. Unity from Cryptographics. Now, big shout out to Cryptographics because they've just Unity and Taurus just applied, I think, for CoinGecko listing. I think it was CoinGecko listing. So it's kind of positive there. Should we go jump? Let's have a quick look at them. I wasn't going to do it, but let's do it. And let's see there. Those are all nice value adds. So let's have a look. I think they had that on here somewhere. Yeah, there we go. 3 hours ago. Not CoinGecko, CoinMarketCap. So CoinMarketCap listing verification for they got the ticker there. So that's actually live now. Isn't that cool? So Unity there. So well done to Unity. Very cool. That's from Cryptographics. That's tied into the PulseX, right? Not Pulse, but PulseX there directly. Pulse indirectly, of course, or via the Hartzell. So that's kind of where we are right now. Let's look at the PulseX ratio to see what the health is of the old Unity. It's just humming along down the bottom right now. Just humming along down the bottom. I haven't checked the website for the buy and burn. Let's go check that too. Really going. I didn't even plan on doing this. Now we're just doing it. So we got Unity there, and let's enter the DAP. Let's go to the buy and burn. I don't know what's in there. We haven't looked at it for the time. So buy and burn, we've got 8K in there and 60K in with the buy unit of PulseX. So that's still pretty decent. It's still pretty decent at the moment. It's just the dial's turned down from the looks of it to $4. And the buy and build, that's pretty empty out. It's pretty empty. Fractal, yeah, it's pretty empty too. But so the most of it's in the buy unit of PulseX, which is probably the key one you want anyway. That seems to be protected at the moment. Probably waiting for a bit of reversal there. So at the moment, that is holding down at the 3,000 mark. Kind of cool. We also, I think we're still waiting for collaborative staking. I don't know if that's come out. I haven't checked recently, but I think that's still coming up. We probably should get Cryptographics on the show and give us a nice update. I don't know if he's watching, but if he's out there, or if you're in the team, let him know. And then maybe I'll hit him up in the old Telegram anyway, since I am an admin in there. So it's amazing. Miracle. Anyway, all right. Jokes aside, let's get in here. That's kind of where we are right now with some of the down ones. PC the grey is down a bit too at the moment. Just where are we up to? Oh, we've come down a bit actually, haven't we? On the old PC the greys there. Let me find the good peer. I'm trying to find the peer with Pulse. I prefer to use that one. There's that one here. So we're actually down a little bit there, aren't we? Now, apparently, one of the founders or founder was selling this down. That's what I saw. Was a Crypto Solve talking about that. Yeah, that was pretty dramatic. Now they've done a lot of great work around referrals. PRVX does a great job, and of course, there's got some huge influencers supporting PGC like Moon King and Ian Heinisch. And so yeah, but yeah, apparently it was getting a bit of sell pressure there. I think Crypto Soul was talking about that, although it's still holding up pretty well. So just a bit of a down. Maybe just want to take a bit of profit off the table. Maybe he's got to buy a new house or a new car or something. I don't know. But that's kind of where we are right now at 15. So still looking pretty strong. RSI was a good tell there. Talked about this earlier. RSI is a good tell there, down 66. So keep alert there. But this might just stay elevated for a while. We'll see whether it can move higher. And let's have a look at that's the weekly already. So we're already pretty hot there. The daily there coming back to 50. So just cooling off. So yeah, might have a good chance. Got good support at 13.6. You can see here. Good support there. Did have a wick down to 14, so it may get traced down there. Just be a bit cautious on that at the moment, but has managed to bounce at 45 a couple of times. Keep a lookout for that. All right, so that's pretty much it with the charts. Now, someone when we look at what do we got? Someone when we look at Sparta. Now, did we see Sparta on here? I don't even know if we saw Sparta on here. Might have to pick it up. Sparta. Now, I'd have thought Sparta. That's what Sparta had run out of their. Chart there. So this is the weekly chart, so it's not looking too healthy. It's at 3400th of a penny. What else there? Oh, this is the hex pair, is it? Yeah, it's hex pair. That's fine. And the ratio to hex is at 2.86. So really off the bottom there, 2.5. Let's give a look at the website. So not looking that great. This is Wendy's for Tendies, right? Wendy's for Tendies. I think he's a hex OG kind of guy, and founder of this project. But let's go to the stats because I don't think there's too much in this, is there at the moment? Treasury total still says 614,000, but it's mostly in other tokens. They got about $16,000 in hex, so it's not really a powerful. I guess it's relative to the liquidity. They've got quite a few peers. Liquidity is quite big, 133. They got quite a few peers, I think. What we saw there, didn't we? Let's have a look at Sparta again. What are you, 27.19? So, it's 16. I mean, it still could move the market for a day or two, I guess. The volume's pretty low, so it could probably move it quite a bit. 23, so, but maybe not that long. So that's pretty low there right now. The other tokens, I'm not sure what the other tokens are. What's in those other tokens? Treasury, Sparta supply, LP's burnt. There's not much left, is there? Circulating negative. I don't know what the negative is. That's Treasury 1.8, burnt 1.9. So is there hardly anything left of this? I don't know. It's a bit confusing. I haven't really been following it since the early days, but that would be a question that I would have. Have to do a bit more research on that. So yeah, if you know Diamond Hand, let us know if you know much about the supply there, because it doesn't make much sense on the website there. Negative. So yeah. Right, that's Sparta. Not something looking too exciting for me on the markets there. If I just as a quick look, even if it's near the bottom there, not a lot of catalysts. There's a lot of OG holders, right? There'll be a lot of big holders relative, I guess. I haven't looked at the holder count, but let's have a quick look at that. Let's do that. All right, this is not just a review, not an endorsement at all. Just remember, do your own financial due diligence. So we still got a lot of big holders, right? So still got a lot of big holders in there. So yeah, not my cup of tea. I think there's not a great look from my point of view. Now, it doesn't mean it won't move it at all, but I think there's just much better plays by a long way on there. In the market. Thanks for looking. I was considering a position, but I guess I would just stock to Alien Tech. Yeah, you're probably better off with some of those better performing ones with lower risk but better upside. It's kind of that risk return trade off. All right, so let's get into the big one here. We're going to go to PCock, which is obviously a powerhouse on the old Pulsechain. We're going to have a look at the top chart here. So this is the chart. We're on the 1 hour, so I might go to the 4 hour chart on this. Let's go full screen. We're down 1% today at the moment. It's kind of consolidating. Obviously, LibreSwap provided quite a bit of price support for it with buys and fees. And here we are with the 4 hourly chart there above the moving average. It's kind of good to see. Just trying to get some consolidation there. RSI at 50. Daily though, let's have a look at that. Daily right now is let's see here. That's not even over the 21, so it's still struggling, trying to get back there. But what I really care about is the pulse ratio right now. Obviously, we broke out that sort of triangle, and we've got the ZK wallet coming up. We've got so much stuff coming up from this team. It's crazy. But let's go to the pulse ratio and how we're doing for time. Now 18, so way past my time frame. That's kidding me. Well, we're over the 21 on the RSI. Over the on the pulse ratio. So we've switched from US dollars to the pulse. We're at just under 1800, which is fantastic, right? And then we got the all-time high back here on the 25th, which was 2031 pulse per PCock. So the ratio holding up nicely, consolidating nicely over the moving average as well, 21 and the 50. So looking really good, getting ready for that next move. And have they got the news for you? They haven't got just one piece of news that you like buy the news and sell the buy the room and sell the news. They've got a lot of newses. Newses. I don't know. Is that funny? I don't know. It sounds funny to me. Agreed. The chart and liquidity are concerning. PTC and UFO to the moon. Yeah. You're definitely better off in top tier projects like that. The only thing is, I think CryptoSolve did something about the founder, so you'd have to go check that. Maybe I should have done that myself, but it wasn't something else. If I keep looking at all these things, then the show gets pretty long. All right, so we're going into the Kraken here, PCock. We did have an update here. This is it was about 12 hours ago now. Suppose we launch our yield product. So yesterday they said we've got 2 products coming in a couple hours. But of course, they've got to make sure everything's safe and done and everything. So I don't care if they're a day late or whatever. They're generally on time, but I don't care if they're a day late. Suppose we launch our yield products now. Since they are fully audited and open source, they can build trust and steadily gain volume over time. That leaves us with 2 paths. 1, turn on a protocol fee and use it for automatic PCock buy and burn. I think that's pretty exciting. Keep the protocol fee free. Allow liquidity providers, including us and the PCock LPs, to maximize their earnings. Which approach is better for long-term sustainability there? Well, obviously volume is king, but you certainly want to maybe do a week free, and then you start charging some modest fees. Staked Wealth says fee free sounds attractive, but it mostly benefits extractors, not the protocol. Turning on a fee with buyback and burn does 3 things: captures real value, towards long-term holders, proves sustainability if you believe in the product, monetize it. It's pretty good. Number 2 says it works for better long-term adoption. When we're 10x higher, new entrants will be rewarded, and so more incentives, the better. PCock will win either way, but this way everyone wins. Everyone wins there. So there's a couple of thoughts there about that. Maybe a week free. You want to build up liquidity, and then you have your fees on there. I think that's quite reasonable. You don't want to keep doing things without. You want to build up liquidity first, obviously, but then you want to get those fees. And I don't know how much that will affect, as long as people are making money elsewhere. So that was from Liberty Swap. Let's see what else they've got happening here. I'm not going to read some of the other things that are going on. We'll just jump through all this. Raging Magikarp is a huge supporter of PCock. Big weekly close for PCock. Keeps building and finding new ways to bring revenue. Fresh money into Pulsechain. Non-stop building and steady hands have led to one of the best charts in Pulsechain. Yep. And they're obviously doing pretty well there with the charts. So it was kind of cool. Don't know if they got a comment there. More buyback today, together with some good news. So there we go. They just keep bringing the alpha there. Great to see Hog in the house as well. And we've got Sean there as well. Only says Sean. So some cool stuff there. All right, so that's kind of neat. But let's do a refresh and see if we've got any other updates around the product launches. These lot of launches are probably imminent, I would say, within the next 24 hours. Obviously, there were a couple out. They were supposed to do yesterday, but they can't be too far away for the old launches there of those new products. So look forward to that. It's going to be a big week. We also got the wallet coming, right? So the wallet is going to be here. Very cool. So ZKX wallet and airdrop to PCock holders as well. There's so much stuff coming from this team. They're going to be doing the liquidity side of things, building out liquidity. It's going to be great, guys. It's going to be great. And liquidity is king, as you guys know. It is king, and a king. And you can earn heaps of fees on it. That's what I say. Maybe, a lot of times they do things like if you test trial for 7 days and then you pay so and so much a month. Maybe that's what they do. Compromise position there. We'll see what they do. But they, earning fees is cool. Earning fees is cool. All right, so that's kind of cool. I like it when they earn fees as well, and then they use it as a bit of a treasury. And then if the price gets under pressure for maybe a seller comes along, and they buy back the chart up. That's kind of cool too. I like managed charts. Now remember Liberty Swap is incredible. They do some of the best liquidity management on Pulsechain, both on other chains as well. To get high yield, they're very good at doing that too. So it sits in the background there. All right, so that is the old PCock. Keep a lookout, guys. It's going to be a great month for the old Liberty Swap. And I think things are really getting rock and rolling. Now, they also they basically got everything verified on CoinMarketCap. And so we're hoping that they get switched over from 24-hour volume rankings, which is about 4,300 ranking, somewhere in that ballpark. If they get to market cap ranking, that will jump them all the way to 4,300, all the way into the top 1,000, probably even, depending where the price is, maybe in the top 800. We'll see. It's pretty exciting. Of course, once they go there, everyone goes, whoa, these guys are awesome. And then they buy them up and they push them up even higher. So, and of course, these guys are launching the frontier of DeFi. And after they launched Liberty Swap version 2 at the turn of the year, they have just basically can hook in every single DeFi they're wanting into the protocol. It's pretty exciting. And they're very, very clever around the user friendliness. And apparently they're going to have some big launches too coming up with non-Pulsechain big entities as well. So, what they are, maybe promotional sites, maybe big DApp listings, all sorts of stuff that could be arranged there. We'll just keep a lookout for that. So it's a bit of speculation for me based on their comments. So lots of cool things coming. And of course, the Kraken of Pulsechain, as I call it, is the old PCock and Liberty Swap. All right. That's pretty much it. I think we're going to finish the show because I'm just, I could talk for a lot longer, but I've got other stuff to do today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the show. It's been a lot of fun covering Pulsechain. As you guys know, the Kryptonite Show, we cover Pulsechain virtually every day. It used to be every day for sure. Now it's virtually every day. And of course, the largest Pulsechain influencer doing that. And we cover the markets as well. So we have a particular format. We like to cover Pulsechain markets. We don't do a lot of drama stuff. It's not really something that interests me. I really care more about the crypto. I like doing, covering all the cool things happening as much as possible. So if you got cool stuff that you think that I'm not talking about, that's around some of the projects, let me know. You can always hit me up on Telegram, Discord, or on X. Happy to keep an open mind looking for that. And what else? If you guys haven't hit the follow, smash the follow, hit the like buttons as well. And if you haven't joined Strategy Club, links in the video description and pinned to the top of the Whoop store, just over $1 a day to get all the alpha as I'm researching. I post it in there, so it's a lot more than I cover on the live streams. All right, so what else can we say? I had something else to say. Yeah, Monster Thread coming out, guys. Monster Thread number 48. 48 weeks of Monster Thread. It is a publication of the Kryptonite Show. MVS Crypto and myself, we've had a lot of fun bringing it to the market. It is a professional publication. We have some of the hottest teams on Pulsechain in there, so you definitely should check them out too. But it's going to be cool. Coming out later on today is a Monster Thread number 48. And as you guys know, what's 52 weeks? That's 1 year. So we're not far away from 1 year of the publication. Pretty awesome. Get somewhere between 35 and 50,000 views a week. And this is in bear market. Imagine in a bull market condition. Pretty amazing. We've also, I think, had in the Monster Thread, we've probably had a good, 6 to 9 large influencers outside of Pulsechain. We're talking about with hundreds of thousands, if not millions of followers now get attracted to Pulsechain through all different ways. So it's really exciting. And that's all stuff that may amplify Pulsechain when we get a bull market on. Because those guys will come out and start talking about Pulsechain a lot more. It just amplifies that effect. It's kind of a sleeping effect, as I call it. So we've seen people pop in like that. So it's pretty cool. Maybe we should do a video on that too. So it's exciting stuff. We've also got a lot of our own Pulsechain influencers and community members out there doing a lot of active work, a lot of X-Space people. We've got people dedicated doing X-Spaces essentially. I think we have a good half a dozen of those that are of significance. Out there, and that's sort of been a great sort of development in the bear market, is having all those. It's kind of cool. We've really had some good stuff there, and obviously we've got some more influencers popping up as well, doing video streamings and things like that on a regular basis. So that's kind of cool. So things are slowly moving. Richard Hart is on the move. I think that's kind of exciting too. We see him obviously last year, doing Pulsex and ink inflation again this year. Hex staking. Of course, inflation management there too. And then, of course, we've also seen promotion and marketing with the iPads, along with, cool things happening this year with Richard sort of ramping up his commentary on X, been very positive. And PRVX, of course, launching new tech coming to market to, outdo the centralized exchanges, peer-to-peer, true DeFi. So he's on the move there. And, he's... watch out for the rest of his moves, right? Rest of his moves could be a lot of fun. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bring on the Magic Carp ride. It will come for those that really do. It really, truly will be diamond hands by the time. But if you can make it, you'll be pretty happy, I think. All right. Take care, everybody. Catch you again for tomorrow's show. And look forward to the Monster Thread number 48 coming out later today. And we'll catch you then. Take care, everybody. And bye for now.